Alright, welcome to Melee User Experience. Today we are going to do a comparison, or somewhat of a comparison. I don't want to get too much into the Fold 6 device, but mainly I want to come back. It's been 2 weeks that I've had the Galaxy Fold 7, and I have to say this phone is awesome, more than what I expected, seriously. Just getting to some things of what it is that I like about it. Of course, the size difference. It actually feels like, sorry, my camera just wanted to lean on me, but I wasn't ready for that just yet. So, just off rip, just seeing the comparison, going from opening the phone and checking it out and everything. The phone is a lot bigger. The Fold 7 is a lot bigger. Well, it's bigger than the Fold 6. The bulkiness of it is like no comparison at all. Sorry, over here dropping it and everything. But like the bulkiness, like you see how big, like how thick the Fold 6 is compared to the Fold 7. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Just seeing that, like the size comparison is just crazy. So for me, that was already like something I really noticed, when I first got the phone, was the size difference and everything. And especially with using it in candy bar style, it's a lot wider, a little bit wider in the phone. Like the one thing that's so funny is I'll do this and I'm like, it's like this phone fits within this screen. That's so crazy. So one of the things I did do, and I'm actually just doing like some of the comparisons of like the size or whatever, from the Samsung app. Actually not from the app, from their website. But they're talking about that the cover display. So this front screen on the Fold 7 is 6.5 inches. And the cover display on the Fold 6 is 6.3 inches. And I mean, when you look at it, it's like, when you look at it on like the spec sheet and everything, it's like, okay, well, that's not too much of a big difference. But when you get it in hand, that's a huge difference. So then when you go to fold it out, let's say to the main screen, this is where it really gets ridiculous. So I fold it out to the main screen. Let me get rid of those. And then let me fold this one out. And it's like this one fits inside this one. It's ridiculous. I mean, honestly, seeing it on the video and everything, to me, it doesn't really compare as to you really comparing it or whatever. But if you get a chance to go into a store and get to see it in person, you'll get to see like the difference of it. Like, wow, that really is a big difference. So, I mean, and we're talking about, what, a 7.6 inch screen for the main screen for the Fold 6. And for the Fold 7, it's an 8-inch screen. That's ridiculous. Just the difference in like, that just makes no sense to me. That is that much of a big difference just from just a little bit of a size bump. And then, not to mention, you have, of course, a lot of people are talking about the hole punch right here for the camera. And then under here, it has an under display camera. Now, I like this. I mean, there's moments where I'm like, okay, this hole punch is getting to me a little bit, especially like if I'm watching something, but it's not that big of a deal, I mean, honestly, I can look past it with the size screen that I have. I mean, I can compromise with it a little bit, but I just have to say, going from a 4 megapixel under display camera that really didn't look all that great whenever I did like Google Meets or anything like that, if I'm doing some type of FaceTime, and then now the 10 megapixel camera that they have on the inside, which I've always wanted. I had the Fold 4, then I went from the Fold 4 to the Fold 6, and just seeing the Fold 4 and the Fold 6 basically having the same camera and almost same setup, just a little bit different design on the body of it, that was a little disappointing. But just jumping to the Fold 7, it feels like I got a whole new different device than what I had before. Now, yeah, I do lose the capability of being able to use my S Pen and, being able to draw or do whatever on the screen. But honestly, I got a tablet. I still got my Galaxy Tab 8 Ultra that basically I can use if I want that effect. And I mean, honestly, down the road, we already know somehow, some way, Samsung will bring it back, and eventually, somehow, it'll probably end up within the device where we'll be popping it in and popping it out of it, just like we do with the 25S Ultra and everything now. So no big complaint and no loss there. So like I said, 10 megapixel camera on the Fold 7, 4 megapixel on the main screen for the Fold 6. So that's a huge win for the Fold 7. Now, it still has a 10 megapixel camera that's on the outside of here on the front main screen. So that's not too bad, you know, just for a front facing camera. That works out pretty good. And then with that, now when you go to the back of the phone, you got these cameras here. Now the rear facing cameras, always know, these are the best cameras to use when you're making videos or doing whatever, or recording. So I'm going from, on the Fold 6, a 50 megapixel wide camera, 12 megapixel, 12 megapixel, oh my goodness, ultra wide camera, and a 10 megapixel telephoto lens on the Fold 6, and now going to a 200 megapixel wide camera, and then still the 12 megapixel ultra wide and a 10 megapixel telephoto. Man, I do not know what in the world is going on with my speech, but hey, we're still here. So pretty much that's enough as far as like the cameras and everything. I'm not gonna be doing a comparison with the cameras and anything like that today. I'm not huge on photography or whatever. I mean, I do understand, hey, a phone is a phone, and a standalone camera is also, of course, a better camera, period. But I might do some things with the camera, you know, going down the road, just to, you know, see some things and show you what the camera can do. Because for me, I used to do a lot of like the, you know, just the regular prompts that they have or whatever, you know, utilizing just theirs instead of, you know, the default settings in the camera. But I went to now doing more of like the pro videos and the pro features with the camera. So I'll get into some of that, and then, you know, just let y'all know and let y'all see, you know, the difference in both. So that way, maybe you might want to take some better pictures with your phone and know how to do that. Now, one thing that is puzzling to me, so both phones have the same 4400 milliamp battery. So on the Fold 7, it's saying that it gets 24 hours of video playback. But on the Fold 6, it gets 23 hours of video playback. And honestly, I mean, ain't nothing to really get into, but I'm just looking at that like, make it make sense. That doesn't make sense to me. So outside of that, one of the things that did surprise me though with this phone is that they were saying with the specs on the main display inside the screen. So the main display is here, the unfolded screen. They said it's 2184 by 1968 with the screen with the dynamic AMOLED 2 times. And I mean, with Samsung and how they do with their screens is just ridiculous. So anytime that I get a Samsung phone, tablet, whatever, I have to see the word AMOLED right after it, because their AMOLED screens are just ridiculous with the viewing and the crispness of you watching your videos or movies or whatever. You just get so much out of it. And I didn't know that the main screen, the unfolded screen on the Fold 6 was actually 2160 by 1856 and was dynamic AMOLED. But that's why I see a huge difference when it comes to, like, you know, doing a video or whatever. Like, I don't know, I ain't gonna even worry about that. But I just say like this, if you ever get a chance to, what I'm gonna suggest for you to do, and that's for people that, you know, may not be tech savvy or whatever, or may not look into a lot of things, what I'll do is I'll say Samsung comparison, Samsung Galaxy Fold, let me see. Samsung Galaxy 7 Fold versus Samsung Galaxy Fold 6 specs. So right here, you can go to Samsung site. I can click right on there, and then Samsung allows you to be able to compare up to 3 devices. So I will take the Fold 6 right here. I'll just leave that like that for here. I'm not doing 3, but it don't look like they give you the options of how many you want to do if you just want the 2 on the screen. But right here, this is where I got the specs for the phone to kind of like see what is it they're talking about as far as what's going on. As you can see, like the weight, 215 grams versus 239 grams. So of course, the Fold 6 is a lot heavier than the Fold 7. You can definitely feel that as soon as you get it out of the case. And just everything that they have right here. You know, it has the Galaxy AI on both devices. Let me see. Right here, this is what I was talking about as far as like the 4400 milliamp battery, where you got up to 24 hours of video playback, and then you got the 23 hours of video playback on the Fold 6. Yeah, I'm not even gonna dive into that, but you can see right here where it talks about the main screen, the cover display, and then the main display. And I did not know, wow, I didn't even look into that before, that it was 2376 by 968 HD plus on the main. On the cover display of the Fold 6. I did not know that. So we are getting true HD on the front, on the cover display now with the 2520 by 1080. That is crazy. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at some of this stuff too, and I'm like, whoa, okay. Yeah, so the one thing is that I just have to say, the reason that this device, I have it up, but it doesn't have like all of my apps and everything. This is just back to factory reset. And the reason is because I'm trading this phone in today. So this is the last day I had to do an extension because I want to make sure I got this video out to you all. Yeah, I'm sending this phone back. Although it was an awesome phone. I like the Fold 6, but having the Fold 7 is no comparison in my books. And honestly, I'm getting about what, $1,100 that I had trade-in credit towards this phone. And I mean, you can't beat that. But I didn't want to keep it. I want to, get that discount for this one. Now, if it was the opposite, where I was trading this one in for this, I would actually keep this and basically eat that $1,100. But this phone's going bye-bye today. It is nice and sleek, but yeah, I'm not gonna be walking around with this anymore. I still can't believe how heavy it is. That's ridiculous. But now onto this phone. I had to show you. It's a game that I used to play all the time, and I just got back to it the other day, and I was like, you know what? I haven't played any games on here. Usually I have like Asphalt, 8 or 9, whichever one they're on right now. And I might usually play that at the beginning when I'm testing out my phones. But this game right here, Cashflow 101. If you know Rich Dad Poor Dad, he's got a game called Cashflow, the Cashflow game. And that game is ridiculous. But I ended up being able to find the game where I can actually play it on my devices. Some devices it will work, some it won't. But just being able to have this screen and to just be able to play the game as I want to or whatever, I mean, it's awesome. Man. I mean, I don't have to go to my tablet for this for this size screen just to be able to play. I can just play it on my phone, or you know what? I can just fold my phone back up, go around to the screen, and then let me go back to, I'm not playing Clash of Clans. Let me go back to Cashflow. So I'm gonna restart it, and this is how it shows up on the main screen, on the front cover display. So once it gets to connecting, you get to see it go through. And you know what I'll actually do? I'll close out the app. Sometimes it's best to do that. Go ahead and hit yes. So you see how it shows up on the cover display. And I mean, it's still good, but I just like the fact that I have the option to be able to go from the device being on the cover display and it being like the same size as what a regular phone would have been, and then to go to the main display. Right there, may have to start the game back over, but at least I can go in and just play it how I want. So I'm going to test out some more stuff with this, and maybe get into playing a couple more games and just show y'all what it is that I actually get to do with it. As you can see on my screen right here, I have some applications that I have where I can just like set them up, and I already have 3 different screens already set aside for them, 3 different tabs. And so I can just, work within those, check out whatever's on Netflix, or let's say if I want to swap out the app or do whatever, I can do that. Let me see. So let's say, let me go to Audible, see what's going on with Audible. And I mean, I love the multitasking when it comes to Samsung phones because it's true multitasking. I can go in and just look at whatever it is that I need to do, and let me see, just allow. So I can just, just be able to go in here, and actually we were talking about Rich Dad just a moment ago, there's some of his books. But yeah, I can just go in here, I can look at what the latest movie that just came out, Jurassic World Rebirth, and basically just see, hey, do I want to purchase it? Okay, oh, it's $29.99 right now. Go right back out of that, and then I can just go right up here and just be like, oh, you know what? Let me see, what other app? You know what? I want to check out. If I do the $29.99, and then there's another movie I want to do, let's multiply by 2. Okay, so it'll be about $60 for me to get 2 different movies for about $30. So $60. So, but yeah, just showing you just some of the things that you can do with your phone just to be productive. You do another one. So you got the Google, and then right here you can have whatever it is with your maps and everything. Have the Google Maps. I mean, it's a lot of different things you can do with this phone. Just so many different capabilities, and just the day-to-day, for myself, being able to just use it. I would love to be able to utilize this phone just in its raw nature, just with the phone by itself, not having to have a case, no covers, none of that stuff. I would love to be able to do that, but with this type of phone and how much it is, I mean, you're talking about a $2,000 phone, but if you catch it at the right time for some deals, you can get the phone for maybe about $900 if you have a trade-in. And honestly, like I said before in my previous video, I went to looking at the Fold 6 around was it Black Friday? Between Black Friday and I'd say beginning of December, they had the phone going with the trade-in for around $800 that you basically only come out of pocket for the phone. So I mean, there's some good deals that you can get. You might have to wait a little bit later, but I would keep your eyes on the Samsung.com site. And then also your provider, whoever you're with, they probably have some deals too. I know T-Mobile had some, Verizon had some. I don't know much about AT&T, but definitely check with your provider. But I had to say, I am highly, highly impressed with this phone. No complaints on my end. No lag issues, nothing. I mean, everything has just been phenomenal with it. The applications, just going into those, it's just been awesome. Just being able to, just scroll through and, just go to whatever. Let me see something real quick. Let me do the 4K. I always have to do this video when it comes to me looking at the screen and just seeing, how it looks, and then also too, I know that I need to go in here, and if I want the higher resolution, then I need to go up a little bit. And I don't know how that might be doing on your screen. Whoa. Now that is dark. I ain't never using that. Let me see. I don't think I ever will. That was almost scary, like I was gonna get my screen back. But I don't know. I don't think it's really showing up all that great for you on your screen. But I just say like this: when you get the chance to go to Best Buy, go anywhere where you can get your hands on this phone and be able to try it out, just be able to get to see it. On my phone too, I do like to make sure that whatever it is I was viewing on the main screen, that I can also view on the cover screen as well. I went with my Fold 4 and my Fold 6 the longest, with just, going from, okay, let's say popping from this screen, I'm watching a video, then all of a sudden when I go back to this screen, then that video is not on there. I got a whole nother screen and I got to do something else, and to go back into YouTube, and then I got to find that, and then okay, then it brings me back where I was before. And I mean, honestly, I just say, let me see, what did I going on here? I went to display, I want to say it was. Scroll down, and then you go to the continue apps on your screen, on your cover screen. Went there, and like you can swipe up to continue an app if you want to when you close the screen, or you can always have it on. So like for the Never, let's check that out real quick. So I can even do, let me see if it does that for the main screen. So the main screen will still have it. So then let's say I do this with the main screen. You go back here. Let me see. So let me see if I do this and I go here. Is it gonna bring it up? Nope, it goes right back to the regular screen. So let me go back to the settings. Let me do the swipe up. I never did the swipe up part. That's interesting. So let me do this. So I'm going to bring up, let's say, Google Play. So then I'm gonna go close this and then swipe up to, whoa, okay. I like that. Let me see something else. I'm sorry, y'all. Trying out something new, I'm like, wait a minute, let me see how this works. So let me see if I don't swipe up. Oh, wait a minute. So if I don't swipe up and I just open the screen, it's just gonna go to whatever it is that I had anyway. So let's say I just swipe to the left. Okay, so basically if you swipe, it'll just continue, period. Okay, I'm thinking like with the gesture, it just always would do that. So for me, I like just being able to do this, go from here, and then I can just go right there and I can just continue what I'm doing. And then when I'm done with that, I can just open back up to the main screen, and then I can go to whatever it is I want to do and just continue right onto here. So, man, a lot of different things. And I mean, a lot of people, I know you understand, there's a lot of phones with different gimmicks and different things that they have for those phones. And honestly, that's why we buy the phones, because we like those little gimmicks or those features that, entertain us in a sense. But I just say like this, for anybody that's looking for a phone that's very productive, that can go from, regular size phone to all of a sudden now you're in entertainment mode and you want to watch a movie or whatever, and not have to go back and forth between grabbing your phone, then grabbing your tablet, and then grabbing your phone again, and oh, where's my tablet? This is for you. Now, like we said before, it is a pretty penny, but honestly, for me, I knew I didn't want to pay $2,000. That's why I traded the phone in. But I say like this, if you're looking at a tablet and you're looking at a new phone anyway, just get the combination, honestly, because I don't even reach for my tablet when I've had these phones. And especially with this one, I'm definitely not really reaching for my tablet or even look to take it with me, because there's other things you can do too, which all of you may not know. I'm not going, you know what? I got to stop assuming. Not everybody rock with, Samsung. A lot of people are more so Apple. But there's things like Samsung DeX. I will show you in another video where I connect any and everything to my office. I can connect my phone straight to my Samsung TV, and I can just tap on it. I can tap on my sound bar and it'll ask me if I want a prompt to be able to use my music. And I apologize, that's my 1-year-old that's basically crying right now. As you can probably hear, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there's some nap music going on that was working before, but not anymore. But I just say like this, for me, these last 2 weeks, this phone has been awesome. And honestly, I'll say in my lifetime of using phones and everything, and I like to use phones that are a little bit different, may not be the norm, but just something that's innovative. And I have to say, this phone right here has been the best one that I've used so far. I mean, just even to the side, apps that you have on over here, that you can get to, the quick apps, just be able to pull up whatever, if I want to go to the calculator, I can just go straight right there, or, I can go to YouTube just real quick instead of having to go here and pull something out, or have to go to this folder and then have to click on the app. I mean, accessibility is exactly what it is that you need it to be, or whatever you want. There's different apps that can help you with that. I mean, there's a lot of different things. So we got some time this year. We're going to dive into the phone and just show you how to be more productive with this phone, and then also the phones that you have. Because honestly, when you look at a lot of phones that are out today, a lot of them have similarities. And pretty much, my goal is to help you be able to get the most out of your phones that you can. So I thank y'all for taking this journey with me. We will get into some of the AI stuff that they have on here, because that was one thing and one reason why I had purchased this phone. Well, not just this phone, but the Fold 6 as well, just to see what you can do with AI. But yeah, we'll deep dive. So I'm not done with this phone yet. I do have some more reviews of some other items, some more products that I have that we're going to check out. But I definitely want to make sure that I got back with y'all, let y'all know how it's been for me for the last 2 weeks, and why I am getting rid of my Fold 6 for the Fold 7. So definitely make sure, if you're in the market for a new phone, you're looking for something that you want to be productive with, something that can be, something that can be entertaining, have entertainment for you. I mean, this phone is it. I'm gonna slap my case back on my phone real quick so that way you can see. Oh, also too, I want to also mention, please, if you decide to get this phone, try to find you a slim case as possible, that's close to as much as you can, as far as like as close to your phone slimness as possible, because I can't stand when I get a case and the case is like extra bulky. So like this case right here, I went through probably about 4 or 5 different cases. This case was slim enough for me to where it didn't feel like I really gave up the integrity of my phone completely. Like, as you can see, my phone's right here, and you see how minimal, it is compared to it. Now, it's bulky on the sides just for the protection. And let me see if I have that name of that case too. Let me double check for y'all real quick. I'm actually gonna look on my app just to make sure I get the right name for it. Usually I'll go with, Spigen, or, some of the higher end cases, but none of them looked the way that I wanted them to. I didn't see them that they actually had like that minimalist, type of case for me. So I ended up going with, I guess it's a company called Gatun, and they had this case, and I actually ordered like 4 different ones just to see, okay, is this the type of one that I want to get? And of course, with my case, I want to make sure I had something that was going to, protect the hinge. So I want to make sure that this part was protected, because I noticed that Samsung sells a lot of their cases where there's no hinge protection. And honestly, that's the most important part as far as making sure that you protect as well as your screen. So this one actually, protects it very well. I think it was like $30 for this case. Oh, it's actually $25.99 right now. So yeah, I paid $30 for this one. And yeah, I'm happy with it. It protects, it has enough bump to where it's gonna protect my cameras. And then it also has this little feature where I can actually sit my phone on the desk, and then I can, just have my applications or whatever. I have never used it in this mode before. Wow. Go to YouTube, and I can just go right there. But how I usually use my phone is I'll open it up, and then I'll go right here, and then I'll be able to go on and just be able to watch whatever videos I want to watch. So let's say I go back to the one that I was on. I can't see it all that well, but I can have it on the stand and just have my phone right here. So my 1-year-old this morning, she basically got up, woke me up, grabbed my phone and said, "Daddy, Bluey." So this morning we were watching Bluey on my phone, and it's between Bluey and Mr. Bean. So if some of y'all seen the animated series, I'm not just trying to promote it, but it's pretty funny. So definitely. But out of that, I just say, look into the phone. If it's something that you're looking at, if you're looking into a foldable period, I recommend Samsung's foldables. If you're in the States, if you're in the United States, I recommend Samsung's foldables just because I get all the features that I need and it works here. There's a lot of different phones, Oppo, a lot of different companies that are out there that do have some great foldable phones, but I keep hearing different reviewers say, you know what, I'm not able to use it to its fullest capabilities or whatever because I'm not in that country. They don't work all that well in the States, but it's a great phone. And honestly, I will try out some of those phones and everything, but if you want something that's going to work and it's going to have the ecosystem that, works for you and have the support that you need, Samsung Galaxy Fold 7 is the way to go, or Samsung phones, period, just in my opinion. I do have an iPhone 15 Pro. It's kind of like to the backside. My wife, she uses her phones with, she uses her iPad and her iPhone, religiously. But for myself, I've always been like Samsung and Android. So, but enough of that. I'll be back with y'all soon. And, definitely thank y'all for checking us out. If you like, share, subscribe. If you have somebody that might be on the fence or just might be looking at, Android phones or whatever, period, just send it to them. Send them a video, see what their opinion is. Let me know, what device are you looking into right now? Are you looking into the next, Pixel, I think Pixel Pro? I know they have a Pixel Fold that's coming out, a new one. So I know I have to look into that and see what that looks like. But for me, yeah, I don't want to be negative. I haven't messed with Google phones in a long time, and I never done anything with the Pixels, but I've heard some great things. So I don't know. Maybe that might be something I have to try out. Or Google, maybe you can send me a device and maybe I'll do a review on it and, give my feedback. And also, of course, an honest review. But yeah, definitely like, share, subscribe. And I'll be back with y'all soon with some other features with this phone. And love y'all. And one thing I want to make sure y'all know too, make sure that you disconnect from your devices. And when I say disconnect, put them away, enjoy your family, enjoy your loved ones, because it's always about connection. And we don't always want to be connected to these things, but make sure that you're connecting with your family. All right, y'all take care. Have a good one.